Tired of weak protagonists slowly grinding their way to power? Today we are counting down 10 phenomenal anime where the main character absolutely dominates immediately. Kicking off our list at number 10, Mashle, Magic and Muscles. In a world where magic dictates social standing, Mash Burndead lacks magical aptitude entirely. Hidden deep within the woods, he compensates through extreme physical training. Forced into a prestigious wizarding academy to protect his peaceful life, Mash must use his absurd superhuman strength to casually crush elite mages and become a revered divine visionary. This hilarious parody brilliantly mocks classic wizard tropes by introducing a meathead protagonist who punches away complex spells. The animation elevates the sheer absurdity of Muscle's overwhelming magical supremacy. You will constantly laugh out loud as arrogant aristocrats suffer utter humiliation at the hands of a cream puff enthusiast. It perfectly balances intense animated action with incredibly sharp deadpan comedic timing beautifully. Moving down the rankings to number 9, The Hidden Dungeon. Only I Can Enter Noir is a lowly noble born with an incredibly rare sage ability causing excruciating headaches. Discovering a completely secret legendary dungeon, he quickly gains the power to create, alter, and bestow skills. To accumulate the life points needed to fuel these godlike modifications, Noir must fulfill personal desires while navigating a constantly dangerous fantasy world. What makes this show wildly entertaining is its unabashed embrace of playful ridiculousness. The magic system actively rewards the protagonist for indulging in comedic romantic situations. It is pure escapism blended seamlessly with satisfying progression mechanics. The charming character dynamics keep the narrative lively, proving that incredible power trips can still remain thoroughly light-hearted, visually vibrant, and endlessly amusing throughout every episode. Sliding into the 8th spot at number 8, The Iceblade Sorcerer Shall Rule the World. Arnold Academy is an elite institution strictly reserved for aristocratic mages. Ray White enters as an ordinary commoner, immediately facing intense prejudice from his wealthy peers. However, Ray is secretly the legendary Iceblade Sorcerer, a highly trained veteran possessing unmatched magical mastery. He hides his overwhelming power while quietly solving mysteries and protecting everyone. The sheer satisfaction of watching a completely underestimated protagonist absolutely decimate arrogant bullies never gets old. This anime excels by contrasting Ray's terrifying battlefield reputation with his awkwardly endearing attempts to experience normal school life. The ice magic visuals are incredibly crisp, delivering breathtaking combat sequences that firmly establish his undeniable supremacy over any opponent foolish enough to challenge him in battle. Securing our 7th position at number 7, suppose a kid from the Last Dungeon boonies moved to a starter town. Lloyd Belladonna considers himself incredibly weak because he grew up in a legendary village populated strictly by overpowered mythical heroes. Seeking a grand adventure, he travels to a beginner town to become a soldier. Unbeknownst to him, his perceived weakness is actually godlike strength compared to normal humans, constantly creating absolutely massive chaos everywhere. The complete lack of personal awareness from the protagonist drives this comedic goldmine perfectly. It subverts traditional power scaling by placing an endgame character right into a tutorial zone. You cannot help but laugh as legendary monsters are treated like common pests. The vibrant animation matches the whimsical tone, delivering a fantastically fun viewing experience devoid of any heavy, brooding, dramatic angst. Slicing into our top 6 at number 6, Blade Dance of Elementalers. In a society where only pure maidens can forge contracts with spirits, Kamito Kazehaya is the sole male elementalist. Forced to enroll at a prestigious female academy, he must navigate dangerous magical tournaments. Possessing a secret, overpowered past and a legendary sword spirit, Kamito dominates the arena while dodging constant romantic misunderstandings every day. This series perfectly executes the battle harem formula by delivering thrilling combat sequences alongside fiery character interactions. Kamito is not your typical helpless male lead. His seasoned combat instincts make him instantly formidable. The elemental spirit designs are visually stunning, adding an extra layer of flashy spectacle to the intense duels that will unquestionably keep viewers completely hooked until the absolute end. Breaking into our top 5 at number 5, Chrome-shelled regios. Humanity survives in massive mobile cities called regios to escape mutant beasts roaming a polluted wasteland. Leif von Allscythe enrolls in the peaceful academy city of Zuelni, hoping for a normal life. However, his extraordinary background as a supreme Heavenblade wielder forces him into the military arts division to protect his new fragile home. Leifon is the definition of a quiet powerhouse. The contrast between his gentle civilian demeanor and his absolute ruthlessness in combat makes every single fight immensely satisfying. The dystopian world design is surprisingly deep, creating a grim atmosphere that beautifully highlights his mind-blowing martial arts skills. It perfectly scratches that itch for a genuinely competent and undeniably badass heroic leading protagonist. Claiming the fourth spot at number 4, Campione. After accidentally defeating a rogue god in combat, ordinary teenager Godu Kusanagi absorbs the divine abilities, becoming a legendary Campione. As a literal god-slayer, he holds absolute magical authority. Godu is thrust into an epic hidden society of mages and deities, forced to battle mythological entities trying to destroy the modern human world. This show aggressively turns mythology completely upside down by having its protagonist casually wield divine authorities right from the very beginning. The grand scale of the conflicts is absolutely mesmerizing, heavily featuring colossal clashes of pure elemental destruction. Godu commands immense respect, and watching him decimate arrogant pantheons while managing his highly devoted followers is phenomenally entertaining and endlessly exhilarating to witness. Entering our top 3 at number 3, The Fruit of Grisaya. Yuji Kazami transfers to a bizarre academy containing only 5 female students, each harboring deeply traumatic pasts. While initially appearing as a stoic exchange student seeking a normal life, Yuji is actually a highly trained, elite Black Ops assassin. He uses his lethal military expertise and psychological mastery to save these girls from despair. Unlike typical harem leads, Yuji is refreshingly sharp, dangerously capable, and brilliantly pragmatic. He tackles deeply disturbing emotional trauma with clinical precision and ruthless efficiency. The narrative flawlessly blends dark psychological thriller elements with sudden bursts of supreme tactical action. Yuji never hesitates to use excessive force, making him a fascinatingly flawed yet utterly captivating and dominant central character throughout the story. Taking the runner-up spot at number 2, The Master of Ragnarok and Blesser of Einherjar. Yuto Suo is suddenly transported to Yggdrasil, a brutal world entrenched in ancient warfare. Armed only with his solar-charging smartphone, he leverages modern military tactics, historical knowledge, and technological advancements to become a supreme leader. By outsmarting primitive warlords with advanced strategies, he commands a vast empire while seeking a way back home. This intriguing series highlights intellectual overpowering, rather than simple brute physical strength. Watching a modern teenager conquer entire nations using basic science and historical battle formations is brilliantly engaging. It perfectly fulfills the ultimate strategic fantasy. Yuto dominates the battlefield entirely through sheer intellect, proving that supreme knowledge truly is the absolute greatest weapon in any mystical fantasy environment you could imagine. And finally, reigning supreme at number 1, Demon Lord, Retry. Akira Uno manages an online game until he is suddenly transported into its fantasy world, permanently trapped within the body of his custom final boss character, Hakuto Kunai. Boasting limitless stats and devastating spells, he effortlessly crushes powerful entities. He begins building a massive modern kingdom while investigating whoever summoned him into this reality. This anime completely nails the absurd boss fantasy. Watching Hakuto casually smoke cigarettes while swatting away legendary demons like flies is endlessly hilarious. The show embraces its fun, overpowered premise with absolute confidence and style. It provides the ultimate dopamine rush for viewers craving a mature protagonist who simply bulldozes through every single obstacle with sheer, unadulterated, villainous swagger with total ease. That wraps up our explosive list of insanely overpowered protagonists who dominate from episode 1. Which of these brutal champions is your absolute favourite? Did we miss a show that deserves a spot? Drop your top picks in the comments below and stay tuned for more.